Right, we're live. So back with another one. Welcome all the new people who've come and joined Unleash Sports. I appreciate everyone subscribing. I appreciate everyone supporting the journey. We've got a different segment here today. Obviously, we do the Man United stuff. We've got some MMA stuff planned for you guys, but this one's just called Boxing Talk. We will be doing a show on a Tuesday or a Thursday at 7 o'clock called The Boxing View. That'll be bringing in people like Andrew, who I'm going to introduce you guys to in a minute. People who are connected within boxing, whether that's fighters, whether that's a manager, whether that's like media people, or it's just people that are passionate about boxing. One of the coaches from my gym is going to be joining us at 7 o'clock tonight. Fingers crossed, one of my mates as well who runs a podcast within boxing as well. And obviously, Andrew, you're more than welcome to come on whenever you want. But yeah, Andrew's got his own channel, very passionate sports fan. And yeah, he lives and breathes the sport, man. He's a genuine guy, and within this industry, you connect with genuine people. But Andrew, first of all, how are you, bro? How are you feeling?
I'm good, delighted to be back on here. Thank you for the great introduction. Feels like I'm being ignited into the Hall of Fame, but yeah, no, it's a great introduction, and I enjoy what you're doing, and be more than happy to join again. And it's a pleasure, and I'm delighted to be back on with you.
Yeah, man. I think we're going to look at doing some watch alongs as well and that sort of thing. I don't know whether I'm going to do the Navarrete fight this weekend.
Mm.
I'm actually working on Saturday, so I can't do the boxer card, or I'm working on another show in Wolverhampton. How mad's that? But it's not boxer. But we're going to be
Ah,
doing, yeah. And I feel like me and you could definitely do some UFC streams at some point. But obviously today I want to go into this press conference from yesterday. I keep forgetting the name of the show. What's it called again? It's the what have they called it?
oh,
They've called it the
oh,
Day of Reckoning. The
yes.
day,
Sorry, it's like 3 words or 4 words.
the
Day of
Day of
reckoning. There you go.
Reckoning. Do you know what I mean? So yesterday's press conference was interesting. Obviously, Anthony Joshua is going to be taking on Otto Wallin. Deontay Wilder is going to be taking on Joe Parker with a big card that we're going to go into all of it now. And for me to start off with, it was quite unexpected. I didn't really expect this card to come about, to be honest with you. I'd heard the rumors. Somebody sent a screenshot into one of the group chats that I'm in about 2 days ago with this card, and I never really believe it when it's like a Twitter screenshot,
Yeah.
like with the white writing. I seen all the matchups and I thought, really? I thought Ellis Sorrow, Lyndon Arthur fighting Bivol. I thought,
Mm.
is this really going to happen? Do you know what I mean? And lo and behold, credit to the Saudis, they just done it. Like literally, they're just like, yeah, we're doing a press conference. Everybody's here. Everybody's signed in. And I don't know. The first thing I'll ask you, bro, is like, have you ever seen anything like this before in boxing? Like it just happened, like boom.
Yeah, never. Honestly, I was speaking to several other fighters, several heavyweight fighters, and they were saying as well, it's good for the sport. It's bringing the old school back where everyone's fine. Everyone, I think it's a new era and a new wave. I did not expect it. I thought it was rumors. Again, similar to you, I was sent a picture on Instagram. Didn't believe it at first. Then come 2, 3 hours later, I see the press conference. Yeah, it's an unreal card. Look, I wasn't surprised because I knew they were going to have a December 23rd card in Saudi, whether that would have been Tyson. But obviously, the Ngannou fight put a spanner to the works of that. So you see Joshua and Wallin, you see Wilder and Parker. It was rumored Joshua and Wilder, but that's been brewing for a long time. Then
Yeah.
when you see Opetaya and Zorro, and you see Bivol and Arthur,
They're the
it's not.
ones, they're the ones that I didn't believe. I was like, what? I was like, what kind of
Yeah.
matchup from the manager of an Ellis Zorro and the manager of a Lyndon Arthur? I thought, why would you? But obviously money talks. Carry on, bro.
But no, of course, like you said, I think they've brought 4 or 5 promotions here together. They brought Queensbury, they've brought obviously the Kingdom of Saudi, they've brought
Matchroom.
Matchroom, they've bought, I believe Arthur's still with Wasserman Boxing.
Yeah,
Correct me if
yes.
I'm
Then you
wrong.
got Dimitri Salita. They kept mentioning one yesterday called remember he kept saying like this is brought to you by NEC, da 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 da. I said
Yeah.
Celine or I can't remember what he said, something like that. Yeah,
And I
something like
think Deontay Wilder has his own thing now, like similar to Dillian White. He's got his
that.
like Bronze
What
Bomb
do they
or
call
Bomber
it?
promotion,
Yeah,
something like
there
that.
you go. Something like that.
But
Yeah,
yeah, like I said, I believed Joshua, I believe Wilder. I thought they would have put them together again. At first, I was a bit, I wouldn't say hurt by it. I was like, ah, why haven't we got the Wilder fight? But knowing boxing, this builds it even bigger. And you see, there's 3 heavyweights there. This feels like a tournament. This feels like the boxer tournaments where any one of these guys, and if anyone causes an upset here, they can fight the other. And we'll get onto it in a
Right.
bit. But as you say, the ones that took my eyes were the Bivol Arthur and Opetaia Zora. Not to say they're not deserving of the opportunity, because they well are, and Lyndon is the IBO world champion. But there's a big step up from, okay, there's Lyndon Arthur, and then you've got Bivol and Beterbiev, and those are, I wouldn't say miles ahead, as we were talking with the welterweight division before with Terence Crawford and everyone in the UK. There's a bit of a step there, but it's not as big as like Conor Benn and those are. Then you go to Opetaia and Zora. We just saw Opetaia
You
out
know what it is? Do
recently.
you know what it is? Just to cut you in, Andrew, there. It's those killer divisions, isn't it? Like you go to you're a super middleweight. Like is Zach Chelly and them guys? They're super middles. I
Yeah,
think, aren't
yeah,
they?
super middle.
So you go, I'm going to fight for a British title. So Zach Chelly, Jack Cullen, blah blah blah, and then you go, oh, top of your division is Benavidez and Canelo. Then you go down to welterweight and you go Echo Esserman and Harry Scarf. Obviously, Harry Scarf's very much somebody that I back. My home gym in Derby, big up One Nation Boxing, by the way, little plug there. And then you go Boots Ennis, Terence Crawford. Then you go Dan Aziz, Josh Boatzy. Then you go Beterbiev, Bivol. The gap between that British level and world level, like you're saying already, is ridiculous. It's huge. It's massive, isn't it?
Yeah, honestly, it is. And I said,
And sorry, just to add on that, I think without that preparation, that's when you see the likes of like and I respect Jordan Thompson so much for what he did against Opetaia. I respect that to do that. It's hard when the promoter calls you to come in. Do you know what I'm saying? Like we've got the money on the table. Do you know what I'm saying? Come and fight our world champion. But it's really hard, isn't it? Because you've not had those step ups. You've not had like a couple of. If you look at like what a Richard Riakpor's doing to world level now, he's just step by step by step. So no, I think it's a very valid point. There's a massive gap in class.
and with the Zora fight, and I'll let you continue, is that I'm not surprised, but it does remind me what he done with Yard and Kovalev in the sense that Yard, at the moment, at the time, he was past it. He was better than everyone in the UK. But then you go to world level and not having faced someone of that magnitude, you're being chucked in the deep end. So we'll get onto it in a moment, but it is a killer fight. You saw Jordan Thompson, okay, he's lost his very first fight. Similar to Ellis Zora, I don't see why Ellis can't defeat him. And obviously, with the backing of Queensbury and Frank Warren, and how Frank loves to build his fighters from their debuts to titles and then a world title. But it is a big ask, but we'll just see.
Yeah, because I think I always go with experience in boxing. If you ask me between two fighters and you say who you're going to go for, I'm going for experience. Just because experience, like getting hit on your chin and coming out of adversity, going more than, I don't know if you're a knockout person, going more than like 6 rounds in a fight. Do you know what I'm saying? Going in there with multiple, like I think it was Jordan Thompson's first real good southpaw that he sparred. That's a hard task to go in with. Do you know what I mean? Has Ellis Zorro done a southpaw? That's something we need to go into a little bit. But yeah, no, I thought it was a very interesting matchup. Let's go through the card, man. Let's go through the card. Who was announced first? Let's just go back on the poster now and I'll get an idea of who was actually announced first. Give me 2 seconds. I think they announced Junior Farr and Frank Sanchez. Obviously, Frank Sanchez couldn't be there. I would go with Sanchez on that one if it was my opinion. Do you know what I mean? I don't think Junior Farr looked great. He fought Lucas Brown and got knocked out, didn't he? But like I say, money talks, isn't it? So what do you think about that fight?
Yeah, again, it's, as you say, it's a card where they're all 50-50 matchups, but in some of them, you favor one guy more than the other. Again, I'm going to go with Sanchez on this one. Junior Farr, he's been in there, but again, when you step up a level, that's what really determines how you are as a fighter. And I think Sanchez has. It's not to say that he's better than Farr, because anyone can beat anyone on their given day, which this card is going to prove. But I do think Sanchez has this one.
I think he's better. I just think he's better all around. I'll be real with you. Do you know what I mean? So I would push back on you a little bit and say I don't think they are 50-50s. I think some of these are mismatches. Do you know what I mean? But no, I hear your point about like anything can happen on the night and that sort of thing. No, so I get it 100%. Kabayal versus, I don't know how to, Makhmudov?
Makhmudov, I believe so. He was a heavyweight that was just out last month, wasn't he? On the
man in boxing, apparently. Do you know what I mean?
Well, he did get a first round TKO, I believe, or a knockout. But yeah,
this is an interesting bout because we actually get to see what Caballero's all about. We've heard about him for ages. He was rumored, he fought Derek and beat him. He was rumored to fight for ages. And for me, he's kind of been, I'm not going to say sugar-coated, but like I'm surprised he hasn't been in the mix already. Do you know what I mean? So, because he's been defending that European title, and I felt like he was going a bit stale doing that. He was I'm sure he was linked with Fury, he was linked with Joshua, and we haven't seen him fight. So I'm interested to see. I don't know if you've watched much of him, what he's actually like in the ropes. So have you seen much of him?
I've seen, I think, 2 of his fights, most recent ones. But Makhmudov, I've seen all the highlights, and I've seen a lot of his last few fights.
I've seen him. Yeah. He's one that you're going to really find out when he gets to that top level where he's really at, because we've seen killers before. But who you leaning towards? Are you Makhmudov just because he's destructive, or?
Yeah, look, it's a hard one. Just because I said I haven't seen much of Caballero. Maximum 3 fights I've probably seen of him. I've heard of him a lot, but I've never actually watched him. Makhmudov, I believe the last fight he had was for the North American heavyweight title. So it goes to show you're not put in there to win a belt for no reason. And look, with the heavyweight division, if you can get a guy out there in 1 round, as you say, is he the scariest man in the heavyweight division? No, but he has proved it. And let's see, I'm favouring him, but I don't think it'll be as easy as the last one was.
Scariest eyebrows in the heavyweight division. Let's go with that one, yeah. Filip Hrgović and Domori, I think his name was, right?
Yeah.
Domori. Now, I look at this match and I look at it as a match that they've paired up Filip Hrgović to make him look good. I'll be honest with you. The guy's 41 years old. He's shorter. To me, that's Hrgovic's bread and butter. I think when you're in an IBF mandatory position, I don't think you're going to risk it. I think the promoters kind of done a shrewd move here where they've kind of gone, let's make him look good on the big stage, because they want him to either get, well, we know with Terence Crawford, the IBF, they strip people. So Hrgović is in a scenario where he's going to get, to be honest with you, he's in a win-win-win scenario. He either gets the Usyk fight, he fights for a vacant title, probably against Joshua. If Joshua's tied up, then he fights. Makes a fact, actually. I'm going to go on the boxing rankings and see who's ranked with the IBF, but I feel like that's a fight that makes Hrgović look good. I don't think the guy's very mobile. If you try and go in a straight line towards Hrgović, because he's on about, what did he say? Something yesterday. He said something about, I like to split spleens or something like that. What did he say?
Yeah, I can't recall it because it was all
spleens or something like that. Yeah, so I don't think that's a good tactic with Filip Hrgović. So for me, I think that goes no more than 3-4 rounds. I'll be real with you, because he starts fast, Hrgović. But what do you think?
So being able to witness Hrgovic's last fight live at the O2 Arena against Dempsey McKean, again, most people called it a boring fight, which I can see where they're coming from, but it was one of the most tactical fights I've seen in a while. It was Southpaw versus Orthodox, I believe it was, or they both Southpaws?
I think Dempsey was Southpaw, right? I'm sure Hrgović is Orthodox. Yeah, I'm sure he's Orthodox.
Southpaw versus Orthodox, really clinical, very tactical. It wasn't really power shots. It was really like toe-to-toe, parrying the jab hand, calculating the shots, and I believe he got him out there in the 12th and final round, which just came out of nowhere. But I understood because Dempsey didn't turn around to face the referee, but he was taking a moment. So, again, Hrgović, El Animal, as they like to call him, the beast, the animal. But again, look, it's a fight that favors him. This is one of the fights, as you were saying earlier, that isn't a 50-50 in my opinion. I'd go 70-30. Look, anything can happen, but I feel like Hrgović won't be beat until he faces a Wilder, a Wallin, a Joshua, Dubois, Miller. Yeah.
Yeah, he froze for a sec, but I got all that. It's fine. So with the rankings at the moment, you've got Usyk as the champion, Hrgović as a mandatory. So obviously, as a mandatory position, why would you put your fighter in with somebody tougher? So I get it. I think this is a bit of a knockover. The guy's fighting isn't in the rankings, by the way. So this is definitely a fight to make him look good. That's in my opinion. Joshua at 3, Parker at 4, Jared Anderson at 5, Frank Sanchez at 6, Makhmudov at 7, Dubois at 8, Caballero 9, and Wardley at 10. So you could probably see Hrgović fight Usyk, but then again, you could say he's going to fight Joshua, but both of them are going to be tied up. Apparently, there's a press conference today, and is there a presser today for Usyk Fury?
Usyk Fury.
They hinted yesterday that they're going to announce Usyk Fury today.
Maybe I haven't seen that.
Like another Saudi thing, innit? I wouldn't be surprised if they just put another thing on it.
Oh yeah, they said February. I didn't see press conference, but I did say February 23rd on like one of those
announcement or something, or a press or something like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So whether we see that, probably might do another live later if that's the case. So I think Hrgović is going to get a vacated title, because I don't think they're going to wait around for Usyk to fight Fury. Will they sanction? It's not down to the IBF. Will they say, look, we'll let you do undisputed, or will they strip Usyk of the title and put him in with the likes of Jared Anderson, Frank Sanchez, or Makhmudov? Which I think, if he fought Frank Sanchez, it's probably a good fight for him to win a vacant world title, or Jared Anderson. But Jared's tricky, isn't he? So yeah, man. Moving on to the next one on, I think we are up to your guy, Ellis Zorro versus Jai Opetaia.
Yeah.
I think Jai is going to really show his class here. One thing I want to talk about to do with this card that I think a lot of people might have overlooked is, we're going to really see which fighters live the lifestyle on this card and which fighters don't, because it's 6 weeks notice. Lyndon Arthur said he got the call 3 days ago. So a lot of the guys have got a call within a week. So if you're not in camp and you're going into camp now versus a guy that stayed ready, I think it's going to show on this card. So what do you think? Do you think Jai Opetaia, do you think Ellis makes it through? Do you really give him a chance? Like, what do you think?
This is kind of annoying when you're talking about your boys and people you've kind of got biasness towards. Okay, so if I break it down, taking that away, watching Ellis's last 2 fights against Hosea Burton, brutal knockout. Hosea Burton, obviously the former British champion as well. Obviously, it was at light heavyweight and not cruiserweight, but Hosea isn't a natural cruiserweight. And
was Ellis that fight light heavy? That fight was at light heavy?
No, it wasn't a cruiser, but I'm just saying Hosea was a light heavyweight British champion. Okay. Yeah, and look, Hosea is great, but as he passes these days, it's kind of like Hughie Fury in the sense that he'll always be there, but it just depends on the night. Ellis got him out of there, and again, Ellis, I think he told me he was losing the fight, or he felt like he was 4-2 down on the scorecards until the knockout came. Then he fought the tough Italian. Recently, he did, I believe, broke his nose or something went wrong with the nose, and he's had surgery then. So look, it's a hard one. He's had 2 defenses. He's won the European title. He's defended it once. Like I say, this is why it reminisces of Anthony Arden Kovalev. I'm not saying it's too big a jump, but we were talking about before, there's a gap there. It's not as big as I'd say, like you're saying, Dan Aziz and Joshua Buatsi, and then the world champions in that division. But again, what I'm saying is, instead of 100% gap, there's more of a 50-60% gap. Like Zorro's got it. Zorro's class. He trains at the Peacock Gym. He trains with killers, Denzel Bentley being one of them. And I don't see why you can't get the man out. But after Opetaia's last performance against Jordan Thompson, and Jordan Thompson seemed as a dark horse of the division, and he couldn't get him out of there. Well, he got him out of there, and Jordan couldn't get him out of there. It's a tough one. Honestly, if you're asking me, I feel Ellis has more of a chance than I'd say Arthur does against Bivol. That's not taking anything away from Arthur. Again, we'll go on to it in a minute, but Arthur's last fight, he got dropped to the body, and Bivol is miles ahead. But when it does come to that, it's kind of like United playing Burnley, they're playing Liverpool. You're playing 2 different games here. But
you had to bring United into it, didn't you? You had to bring
to break it down. Yeah. No, but you know what? Taking emotions away, I say 60-40. You'd favour Opetaia. And again, Zorro is a smaller man, so he's less of a target to hit. And I do like how Ellis is calm, composed. There's no real verbal back and forth between the 2. And I see Ellis being able to...
Because Andrew, just to interrupt you there, he has to respect Jai Opetaia. See, the way I look at this is a little bit different, okay, yeah? So Ellis Zorro is fought, and like, this isn't a disrespect, yeah? He's fought at English level. That's the level that he's fought at the moment, yeah? Now he's going in with the number 1 in the world, which I would say him, Riakporhe are a level above Billy Smith in my ideas. Who's the other champion? Is Makabu got his belt back? He lost his belt, didn't he? He lost it.
So it's Badou Jack, and then Isaac Chambers got the British and Commonwealth.
It's not Badou. Makabu lost his fight against some other kid, so he's lost it.
So does he not have it anymore?
So Badou vacated, and then Makabu. But anyway, going back to so it's another kid. So Richard Riakporhe, because of his devastating power, Jai Opetaia as the whole fighter, and for me, is the best. Yeah, as an all-round fighter, he's clear from everybody else. Yeah, but Richard's got that equalizer that you have to. Richard's not gonna win lots of rounds against these top guys. He's just gonna take them out. He's just gonna wait and take them out. Do you know what I mean? Very much like a Wilder, but a more controlled boxing. he's got more. He's a bit more. Do you know what I mean? He's more polished. Do you know what I'm saying? He's a different kind of style fighter. For Ellis Zorro, and this is no I've met Ellis. I met him on the after boxer tournament one time when he won the boxer tournament. I met him in Manchester.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, with him and his people, great people. Yeah, I don't see, and I don't think. I don't give him much of a chance, and that's not a disrespect to him, but I just feel like to go from English level to Ring Magazine level, it would be one of the shocks in boxing history. So I don't see it. But no, I appreciate that he's your guy and that sort of thing. But I just feel like there's levels.
Yeah, biasness away, you've got to be honest. And look, again, it's hard because I'm a person that likes to sit with my guys. I'm gonna back him and I'm supporting him full on the way, but it is one of those where you need to shock the world. And as you said there, what I can appreciate and the rest of the boxing fans can appreciate, there is a big gap between English level and then world level.
Yeah, because he's just breaking through to the British level now. Like he might have another fight, and then he might go and try and fight Isaac Chamberlain, but he's just literally gone, done all the way around to the top. Do you know what I mean? So, but credit to him. Look, he's got an opportunity. He's taken it. I just see one winner, and I don't think it goes 12 rounds. I think that everything that Jai does is not good for what Ellis is trying to do. Do you know what I mean? I don't see Ellis as like fast feet. I don't see him as like massively high punch output. I think he's good. I think he's a polished bounce. I think he needs more time. But you know what? This experience will bring him on, but I don't see it going. I'll be real with you. I don't see it going 12 rounds.
Before we move on, do you think it betters Opetaia fighting a smaller guy, or did it favor him fighting Jordan Thompson, who was bigger and easier to hit?
Don't think it matters. I think he's proved us it doesn't matter. Do you know what I mean? Jai Opetaia beat Bradis with a broken jaw. That tells me everything that I need to know about Jai Opetaia. Like, Bradis was the guy in the division. I thought he could get beat by some of the British guys, but I thought they'd have to get him at the right time. But Jai just proved us wrong. I mean, he's very, very, very good. He's good. Do you know what I mean? What he does with his... Somebody said yesterday, what he does, I think it was on the live stream after the presser. Andy, what's his name again? The guy that was doing, the one who was doing it with Fabio Wadley, the guy who works as like a pundit.
Oh, is it? I can only think of
not Andy Clark. It's the other guy. It's I like him. He's really good. Anyway, they were doing it, and they were talking to. I believe he was talking to Wardley. I'm not sure if he was talking to somebody else. Was it Andy Lee? I think they were. I think he was talking to Wardley, and he was saying that Jai Opetaia's footwork is just brilliant, and I agree with that. So, yeah, moving on to the next one, Lyndon Arthur, Dimitri Bivol. How do you see this one going? I think Lyndon's had to take the opportunity. Like I say to you once again, 6 weeks out from the fight, is he ready? Is he camp ready? Had he already chilled out after doing the IBO, which is fair enough, and didn't think the fight was coming, but he's got a big task on his hand. I mean, Bivol is just fundamentally sound.
Going off of that one, now me, obviously, you know why I've watched Lyndon for a few years now, since the Anthony Yarde fights. But again, Lyndon is someone that's earned my respect. As they say in boxing, respect isn't given, it's earned. And when he defeated Anthony Yarde, whether it was not to be for Anthony Yarde or whatever was going on behind, he managed to beat one of the best British light heavyweights in the country. And then they had the rematch, and that was the first time he was ever beat. But he's built himself back from that. He's been on a big stage. He's fought in the main event at Royal Albert Hall. He's fought in main events in the Copper Box. So he knows what it is. There's a different pressure going from, I'm not sure the capacity of Saudi, but going from 5,000, let's say 10,000, 20,000. But I don't think it's 20,000, but it's a bigger stage, camera-wise and publicity-wise. Again, Lyndon is someone that he had a good run and he was really good. I'm not saying he isn't. Just that last fight, I think, took some people's eyes. They're shocking. Like they say, he got dropped by the body. It was a poor performance. Right. Fairly certain it was a poor performance. And whether he was losing on the scorecards, he managed to get his opponent out and win the IBO world title. And I believe Lyndon deserved that world title shot for a long time. Then people are saying they don't think he's going to get a Bivol fight. You don't think he's going to get a Beterbiev fight. Of course, many people don't regard the IBO as one of the biggest ones in there, in the WBC, the IBF, the WBA. They don't put it up there with the rest. But I said, where else is he going to go now? Because he has to unify against these other guys. People didn't think it happened. Bivol, again, we haven't seen out since last November, I believe it is, against Ramirez. So does the ring roster lay out on him? Again, someone like Beterbiev hadn't been out for a year when he faced Yard. Again, it shows these guys are elite level. I'd say the jump between Arthur and Bivol is like a 20-30% jump compared to what it would have been years ago. How do I break this fight down? I think Lyndon has everything in his power to stylistically fight Bivol, but again, you're going up against someone that's not only beat Canelo, but you're going up against one of the light heavyweight kings right now. And it's similar to Ellis Zorro. You want to back the Brits, you want to support your guys, but do you see it happening? No, but if it does happen, it would be a very big shock, and you'd be so proud for him. And if I had to break it down stylistically, Bivol, with the jab, he just plays him on the outside, gets him around. Lindenhoff has got to come inside, and I don't think that favors him in this sort of fight, because Bivol, if he clips over left hook, uppercut, I think Bivol...
I disagree. I disagree. I think Lyndon's got to keep it long because he's the longer guy.
You think long?
Yeah, because his jab is his best thing. I've been lucky enough to see Lyndon spar up close and work a little bit with him a little bit. Do you know what I mean? So did a little bit of work up at that gym where he's at, and he's got a world-class jab. So for me, there's no point coming in close. The more you come in close, you're going to get clipped on the way and clipped on the way out. Bivol is too... I know what we've seen. I think we have to take the Canelo fight out of it because Bivol was fighting a shorter guy. Now he's fighting a guy that's similar height. But Bivol's not big. He's not tall for a light heavy.
Is he not tall?
The shorter ones. No, he's not tall for a light heavy. He's not tall. I think he's like... I'll have a look now. I think he's about 5'10", 5'11".
Yeah, but Lyndon's 6'2", isn't he? 6'2", 6'3".
Lyndon's long. You've seen that with the Yard fight. You got to keep the jab. If your jab is your best weapon, you don't fight on the inside. You keep it on the outside. Do you know
Hence why I'm basing the Bivol one off of the Canelo fight, because he fought long. But as you say that, he's fighting a shorter guy.
Jab to the body. You jab to the head, jab to the body. You bring your right hands into play. Do you know what I'm saying? And do you know what I'm saying? And then when you're too close, you might move in and close their range off. Do you know what I mean? So, but I think the keys to Lyndon's victory is how fit he is, because we all know that Bivol can go 12 rounds and he's a monster for 12 rounds. He's not a Beterbiev monster, but he will punch you up for 12 rounds. Like, he'll box your head off for 12 rounds.
Yeah.
And I think he's got to get his respect. He's got to be able to, like, kind of halt him in his tracks a little bit. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, Canelo, we'll go back to the Canelo fight a little bit, or we'll go back to the Craig Richards fight. Bivol got Craig Richards' respect and stopped Craig Richards doing certain things in that fight. Do you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I think that there's definitely a shorter class gap between... So Ellis Zorro to Jaya Pattaya is way bigger gap for me than Lyndon Arthur. With Bivol.
100%.
But I'm interested to see how the styles make up, because if you put an Anthony Yard in there, he's going to try and pressure Bivol. If you put a Josh Buatsi in there, he's going to flurry with punches, a bit of pressure. He's going to kind of box. He's going to kind of, do you know what I mean? Hit combinations and stuff. Put Dan Aziz in there. Dan Aziz is going to try and push him back. You put a Beterbiev in there, then you're going to see Bivol trying to pivot off his front foot. A Beterbiev trying to push him back. So with Lyndon, I'm interested to see what style that they implement. But that jab is going to be a key scoring shot and a key shot for setting everything else up. What we're looking at, Bivol. Let's have a look. Lyndon Arthur.
Leave 5'10", you're saying?
I think so, yeah. I think it's about 5'10", 5'11". See, if Lyndon's fitness is not on point, I can see him getting stopped later down the line. But I don't know. Obviously, he's usually very, very fit for fights. Lyndon Dimitri Bivol. He's 6 foot and Lyndon is
6'2", I believe, if not 6'3".
6'2". So yeah, it's jab. Interesting matchup. I didn't see that one coming, to be honest with you. The next one, this is going to be one of the fights of the night for me, just from an entertainment value and from just I'm just intrigued with this matchup. Daniel Dubois versus Jarrell Big Baby Miller. And at this point, yeah, I'm watching the press conference yesterday, yeah, and I'm getting a bit bored because everyone's going through the motions and saying stuff, and I get it. Look, as a fighter, you just have to. You've got to be yourself. If you're not an entertaining character, just be yourself. Talk what you want to talk about. Everyone's respectfully like thanking the sheikh. Fair enough. That's manners. I'm going to do the business. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And Jerome Baby Miller, for me, just brought the entertainment value yesterday. He was ready. Do you know what I mean? And he said he's going to stick it all over Daniel Dubois. I think I can't remember everything. What was he saying? He was on it yesterday.
So yeah, what I can recall, so he was talking about Daniel, and then he was saying that, oh, you have to get your promoter in to talk for you, and then he's like, he's
Going to
just
end
going
his
to talk him up.
career and all this and da 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 da. Do you know what I mean? I thought it was good entertainment value. And then obviously Dev Sani's playing on the fact with AJ's there, and him and AJ going back and forth. AJ's like, "Don't bring my name, shut your mouth. Don't bring my name in your mouth." Da, da, da. I thought it was entertaining. I think Daniel's got a long night ahead of him. I'll give you 2 reasons why. Yeah, number one, we all know that the testing is different in Saudi. We all know that for a fact. But he's been fighting. He's been fighting in Dubai or Saudi anyway. He had the last fight there, didn't he, Miller?
Yeah.
Shout out my friend Naman, who runs Goat Management, GOA Team MGMT on Instagram. He's got a fighter called Jamal Dou, who was fighting in Saudi Arabia, and a Baby Miller was on that card. So I remember he was fighting not too long ago on Saudi or Dubai. I can't remember. Maybe you can have a look, clarify.
Yeah, Dubai in the UAE in March.
Yeah, some Dubai card thing. I think for Daniel, I seen Usyk push Daniel back at certain times in that fight, yeah. And for Daniel to keep that big lump off him, is it how many rounds? Is it 8 rounds, 10 rounds?
I'll have a look now.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's an 8-rounder, you know. For some reason, I got a feeling it's an 8-rounder. But yeah, for Daniel to keep him off him, and in the press conference, I feel like Miller's going to really stick it on him. He's going to really shake him up. I think
12. It says 12 rounds heavy.
Oh, it's a 12-round fight. Wow. So Daniel's got to keep him off for 12 rounds. I think that Miller's going to get to Daniel. Don't get it twisted. It is kind of like a 50-50, to be honest with you, because like if Daniel has a good solid game plan, if he has a good jab, if he brings uppercuts into play and he goes to the body early, then he can get the job done. But I just think mentally, I just feel like if Daniel's the kind of guy that goes on road and someone sticks it on him on road, I just don't think he's on it. And I think that's what Miller's going to do. I just feel like that's what Miller's going to do. Do you know what I mean? So he's just going to play off that. Like, he took the shades off yesterday. He was making him look in his eyes and da-da-da-da. I think he was getting him a bit nervous on the end table as well. I don't know if you caught the body language. Daniel looked nervous on the end of that table.
Yeah, he's just...
At one point, he played a joke where he was like, he was going to get up, like, do you know what I mean? He was like, nah.
He looked like he was, and he was like, sit down, or like, yeah.
So how do you see it? Do you think Daniel's got a chance? Like, do you think 50-50?
Just before I break it down, you mentioned Road. When Adeleye fought Wardley, I thought that's the one that's going to get the pressure to him. But Wardley stayed calm and composed, and I was backing him. Huh?
I knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
It's experience, pedigree, fights, once again. So
another thing, like you were saying before, Jarrell Miller isn't someone that's scripted, isn't someone that, as you say, you've got to thank everyone, you've got to thank the promotions, you've got to thank Saudi, and that comes from the heart, that comes from being able to be on such a big stage. Everyone always is, whether it's Matchroom or whether it's Saudi, everyone always says thanks for the opportunity, especially when it comes to this sort of level. But Jarrell Miller was one of those people that is unfiltered. You could just see it with him, and we'll get to the AJ one in a minute, but he literally shut Daniel down. So this is a fight that's going to be 1-2 ways. Jarrell Miller's won the press conference, and I feel like he's won the weigh-ins, he's won the pre-fight antics. When it comes to the fight, right, Daniel has been on there in the biggest level. Is it a 50-50? Yeah, sure. I'd go for it. Why wouldn't I say, look, if you look at a different aspect, you see Jarrell's undefeated.
Just stop you there for a sec. Do you think Daniel's got the power to get his respect? Daniel's got power. Do you know what I mean? Do you think the Daniel Dubois that I seen box was
Joe Joyce?
Did he fight Nathan Gorman before Joe Joyce? Was that the fight just before?
Yeah, he beat Nathan Gorman. I think that was for the British title as well.
So the Daniel Dubois that I seen around that time when he was hitting single and double jabs followed by the backhand, that's the Daniel that I think needs to be against Miller. Because if you go in there, pop, right hand, do you know what I mean? Backhand behind that, yeah. I think Miller is going to take some moving. It's going to take round after round after round. But I feel like you can bust his face up and get his... Do you know what I mean? You can really start to bruise the move. But I don't know what Daniel's going to be like when he gets backed up. Because that to keep that big lump off you for that time, could be juiced up as well.
Yeah. I don't know how much Jarrell's going to weigh in, but oh my God, when Bakurdi weighed in at 300 pounds, that was mental. But again, talking about that, right, Daniel's been in there with world level with Usyk, right? And he's got that anger in him. He's got that determination, that little fire that's ignited that he needs to get something back. Because until Usyk fights again, I don't think they'll have a rematch. But they should. I don't think they
No, I don't
will.
think they will. I don't think they will.
Jarrell Miller, great fighter. Honestly, great fight. And again, like you said, it feels like it's been brewing for 4 years since he got that fight cancelled with AJ. He's been waiting to get that out of him. How I break it down stylistically, Daniel, does he have that puncher's power? Watching at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, I was shocked. He got knocked down 3 times, but I believe his ankle went out there or something went wrong with the leg. And watching from the stands, you can't tell until you watch back. So he was knocked down 3 times and he came back. Of course, he was fighting a guy who came up from cruiserweight to heavyweight. Daniel's been in there with Usyk, and I say if that shot was just above the navel line, then yes, I believe Daniel Dubois should be world champion right now. Another thing is that Jarrell Miller, I say he's got that puncher's power, and if he's coming on the road and he's coming aggressive, he's going to take it and bring it. He could get Daniel out of there in the first few rounds, but if Daniel plays it stylistically, I think, look, again, 50-50, who do you favour initially? If you had to ask me, I say Big Baby Miller's got this, but again, this is just me being biased, backing all the Brits. But again, I feel Dubois has a chance, but I don't think he breaks him down 1 punch, 2 punch like he did with Nathan Gorman and all those other guys, because we haven't seen it since the Joe Joyce fight
No, I
with
don't think he
Daniel.
will. I don't think he will. No. That's why I'm saying make investments to the body early, get the double jab going. Do you know what I mean? If you start busting man's nose up and busting his eyes up, and do you know what I mean? Then you can wear him down bit by bit. I just think he's such a big lump. He's going to take that. But you start sinking him in behind the elbows from round 1. When you get to like round 10, round 9, round 8, whatever, you might see a difference there. Because even if you're not hurting him as much, you're going to slow him down. You can't carry around that mass and get hit to the body for 10 rounds and not slow down. So that's the way I look at it. But it's going to be very interesting. I feel like Don Charles is going to have to get him very disciplined, very focused. And that's sometimes I think in Daniel's fights that he's lacked a little bit is the focus. I think he struggles to focus a little bit. Do you know what I mean? I think it's just a personality trait. And that's not a dig at him because I've got the same personality trait. Do you know what I mean? Anyone that's like borderline, I have. Do you know what I mean? I've got friends who got ADHD. I'm pretty much borderline. I think it's like it's hard to focus when you've got them traits just naturally as a human being. And I see something in him that he's gonna struggle with. But if he believes in himself, there's no point fronting or anything like that, saying like, oh yeah, like he's gonna play the pantomime and all that now. But you need to take this seriously and you need to really put a dent in this guy. Otherwise, he's just gonna swarm you, innit? He's just gonna be on top and he'll tie like having that kind of body mass on you, even if he's not hitting punches clean, is gonna drain your gas tank right down. So that's how I see that one. Next one we've got is I think we're on to the co-mains now, aren't we? So
yes, we are. Wilder and Parker.
Wilder Parker.
Just before we go on to it, do you agree with the ordering saying that heavyweights that don't have world title fights are above world title fights, but again they have bigger names?
I don't mind. I think the order's all right. I think it's all right. Like when I look at the bottom guys, yeah, I wouldn't want Hrgovic or Makhmudov further up the card. I wouldn't be bothered about that. I think they've done a good job, to be honest. Wilder Parker, interesting fight. The active guy in Parker versus the devastating puncher in Wilder. Now, what interested me yesterday, there's 2 elements that interested me on this year. Andy Lee was saying that he backs Parker, obviously, as his coach and that, and their activity and stuff like that. I think it's going to come down to heart, this fight. I think it's going to come down to heart. And when Joe Parker's had to dig deep, I've not seen it. Do you know what I mean? When he had to fight back against AJ, I didn't see it.
You think he was winning that Joe Joyce fight?
I just think Joe backed him up. I just think he made it too easy for Joe to back him up. And like, obviously, look, I'm not a fighter, so it's all good me sitting online and saying that. But like, I think when you fight Joe Joyce, you hit and move, or you can't really stand and trade with him. You'd have to hit and move. You have to be calculating and boxing. And I felt like Parker just backed up too easy. Do you know what I'm saying? Saying that Joe Joyce is a lump, so it's not easy to keep him off, is it? But I think Wilder's right hand's going to connect at some point in this fight. I can't see it going all the way through and it not connecting. Do you know what I mean? I haven't seen And I like Joe Parker as a human being, but I haven't seen enough from him in fights to tell me that he's going to break Wilder down and take him out. I just haven't seen it. Even if you got Fury in your camp, even if you got Andy Lee and all that sort of thing, yeah, there's no disrespect to any of them guys. I look at sample size and I look at what I've seen in the past. I just can't see, for what I've seen in history of the last few years with Parker, him taking Wilder out. Can you see anything different?
The only thing I see different is, look, with Deontay Wilder, he's a man that can knock anyone out within a split second. He's got that one punch power. Again, it goes two ways. It's a type of fight that, we're going to be surprised and Wilder gets him out in the first 3 rounds. Or you have a contest like the Luis Ortiz fight, I believe, goes 6-7 rounds. Parker's winning it, and Wilder's lets Parker believe that he's winning the fight. He's got it against him, and bam, out of nowhere he gets him. So it's a soccer guy, shorter guy. What do I see in this one? Joe Parker.
Let me rephrase this. Yeah, if Parker was going to win it, what are the keys to victory? Like, how would you look at what he needs to do to Wilder to win?
It's very slim chance, but it's a type of Joe Parker.
Is it the body? But is it the body because he's a smaller heavyweight? Like, his body frame is that the key to try and drain him? Is it pop and hold him? Do you know what I mean? Very much like Fury is doing at certain times. Like, what do you look at to be like, right, if Parker does this, he's got a chance?
In my opinion, whoops, my bad, my alarm. No, in my opinion, Joe Parker is, and this is a most respectful way, just above Otto Wilder. He's literally just like 10% off world level. So if he beats Deontay Wilder, he's got to get him to the body. He's got to wear him out, time down, because you give Deontay that 2 meters of space. Again, we go over the football reference. When you give someone a bit of space on a wing and they've given them a chance to cross the ball in and they've got a goal, you've just given them free space. So you've got to stay on him the whole fight. Of course, is it going to be possible for 12 rounds? Who knows? But the Joseph Parker I've seen is able to win a fight and is able to go 10-9 rounds. Okay,
so you're saying front foot, close the distance so Wilder can't get that right hand distance. You're saying shut the range off. That's what you're saying.
Look what Helenius tried to do to Wilder. Wilder's never been backed on the foot before, and again, Wilder got the right hand and he knocked him out.
No, but I disagree. He has been backed on the back foot before. Because, like, even when you look at
against Fury, obviously, but apart from Fury,
he's done it quite a few times. He's got that shot where he steps back and hits the right hand. Do you know what I mean? He's not the cleanest at it, but I think he has done it with a few guys. Do you know what I mean? I'm sure Stavern. Luis Ortiz.
Was it Luis Ortiz?
Luis Ortiz backed him up. I need to watch it back, but I believe Dominic Brazil started to get him a back shot, and then he just comes again. Do you know? Because if you think about him from a straight right perspective, yeah, if he takes a step back, he can plant off his right foot and generate the power with that one step. I watch a lot of the MMA guys do it in my local gym, where they sort of like they draw the opponent in and then they just fire back. Do you know what I mean? They just step back and just come in. So I think that, I don't know, like, yeah, I think basically, in my opinion, yeah, and like I'll let you continue. So in my opinion, yeah, don't stay on the line with Wilder. Do not stay on the line. If you finish punching, get your head off the line. Do you know what I mean? Don't come forward in a straight line. Don't go back in a straight line. That's the kind of way I see it. But it's interesting what you're saying. You're saying back him up, shut the range so the right hand can't fully connect, and maybe ride the punches a little bit. Is that what you?
Again, also against Helenius. Helenius is a different type of fighter, but he found his rhythm and he got him out of there. With Joseph Parker, he's that bigger guy that I don't think there's that clinical one punch that will actually get him out. Wilder's got to break him down. So again, Joseph Parker's got to stay on him the whole time, get on the inside, forget to the body. Again, with someone like Deontay Wilder, unless you're a 6'9" Tyson Fury, it's really hard to get to his head. But I feel like you can out jab him, but you can't load up on that power shot. You've literally just got to break him down slowly and get him out of there. But again, that's the only keys to success for Joseph Parker winning this. If you're asking me as a fan who wins this, Deontay Wilder. But this is a one, and it's cliche to say, like Eddie Hearn said with Anthony Joshua, this is the best fight of his career. We see him say it every single fight. But I do truly believe that this is the toughest test since Fury that Wilder has.
That's interesting. That game plan's interesting. I didn't think you were going to say that. That's very interesting. I'm going with that. I think if you try and back Wilder up a little bit, I like that. Do you know what I mean? But clever tactically in a boxing way. So one thing I want to, before we move on to the AJ thing, I spoke to my friend about this earlier. We had a call this morning, and I was saying, what do you think about the Wilder body language? What do you think about it? He was very humble. He was talking a lot of sense. He was talking very grown and stuff like that, yeah. And obviously, I've seen some things online where people are saying, "Oh, Wilder's a bit soft now," and da 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 da. I think after he got humbled in the Fury fights, I think he's come back a different monster. I think this humbleness and the way he's carrying himself is a greater strength for him. I think he's going to be even more dangerous, you know. I really think he is, because I think he's humbled himself to go back and say, I'm not the greatest. So let me go work with Malik in the gym. I've seen a few clips of what they're doing with the punch. Do you know what I mean? They're throwing combinations and then slipping off and stuff like that. Yeah, obviously, when you're in your mid to late 30s, you're not going to learn mass amounts. You can just do fundamentals. You're not going to learn a whole new set of boxing skills. I'm interested to see what kind of Wilder comes out. I think he's staying composed, calm, cool, collected. I think he's going to be a bit of an animal, you know. And I think he's going to take Joe Parker out, you know. I think he's going to go about 6-7 rounds. I think he's going to connect with that right hand. And I think the excitement for this AJ fight is going to be nuts. Do you know what I mean? And he's probably going to put a bit of pressure on AJ, because if Wilder's on first, he's going to see it and go, I have to win now. I
think he put pressure on AJ when he fought Helenius and didn't get him out of there in the first round until he got that brutal knockout, because fans were actually starting to leave the arena.
No, but I think that's an unrealistic expectation. I think that's just, to me,
yeah.
When you know boxing, you got to be like, I'm not saying I'm some mad expert, but I think when you got a little bit of experience and a bit of knowledge within boxing, like being in the industry, even if it's not fighting, it's just being around people, hearing conversations around people who've got experience to do fights and the way they talk about fights and the way that fighters talk, and just understanding a bit more the fight game. I think to expect Joshua to knock the Helenius in his last fight out in a round is just stupid. He was never going to do that. Do you know what I mean? But I think what he did, breaking him down bit by bit, practicing a few bits, I think he did good. I think he could have been cleaner. I think he could have probably done it sooner. But when a man prolaxes someone in the first round, yeah, it's like me saying to you, yeah, we're both playing football, yeah. I'm playing Saturday, you're playing Sunday, yeah, or whatever, or vice versa, yeah. I score a goal in the first 5 minutes. Or Andrew, to beat my performance, you got to score a goal in the first 5 minutes. You're gonna rush it. The goal can come whenever. Do you know what I mean? So,
yeah. I put so much pressure. Like I said, I can't remember the last game that Sonic, but I remember when, I believe it was like Liverpool played Arsenal years ago, and it was like Martin Skirtle scored within the first 30 seconds, and it was like 5-1. Like, you're not gonna be it. And again, it's like saying that those Wayne Rooney, those David Beckham halfway line kicks. Everyone's going to try it. Everyone's going to attempt it. It comes off better. Like
overhead kicks. Andrew scores an overhead kick and I've got to score an overhead. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
Goal's a goal, innit? You know what I mean?
When you try something, it ain't going to happen. But when you let it come naturally, as everyone says in boxing, perfect. Don't look for the knockout, because the knockout comes when you're not looking for it, because everyone's trying to go for it. Everyone's trying to get the shot, especially you see with Journeyman. I know it's a different level, but they're trying to get him out of there. And when you know you're trying to get someone out there, they're just going to hold. So just go, wait, break it down, and then get to them.
Yeah, 100%. Just giving the little plug there at the bottom.
Subscribe to Unleash Sports.
Yeah, man, we're building, man. We're going to do a few more shows than that. I'm going to try and get live for as many as when the presses are going on. I'm going to try and get live for them as well, so I can watch along with people and that. So, but yeah, I think to sum it up, I think Wilder's strength is in his humbleness. Only time will tell, but I just feel like he's been at the top of the tree. He's had that WBC championship. He thought he was the absolute unbeatable guy who could never be touched and would polax everybody. He nearly did it in the first Fury fight. I think maybe it's a blessing in disguise that he lost. Well, I think he lost all three, but there we go. Yeah. So, yeah, I think he lost all three.
If it weren't for the 2 knockdowns, you go to 10-8. Look,
I'll give it him. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt on the first one, but I think the other two.
Yeah.
Sorry, you lost the two.
I can't remember the scorecards, but honestly, like the ref that had it a draw, I think was I can't remember, but I know I had Fury winning like 8-4 or something like that.
Then so I think it's his strength. I think it's interesting to see what they've been working on. Obviously, a man that's been out the ring he's had 1 round in 2 years. He's not going to show you loads. I don't think there's going to be tons of stuff on display. But if you see a bit more control, a bit more fundamentals, do you know what I mean? I think, and this is why when the fans are saying, "Oh, why can't we have Joshua and Wilder now?" Because they both need fights.
Yeah,
they both need to stay active. Wilder, really, even though he's ready, it doesn't make sense from a coach's perspective and a management's perspective to just go 2 years out the ring, jumping with AJ. You need to get that fight in. And Parker's a good little step for him. Same with AJ. You need to go and figure out the tricky southpaw. So, yeah, but going on to the main card, obviously, Anthony Joshua. Otto Wallin. I think it's a tricky fight for AJ. Before we go into the fight, I thought
Can we talk about the Miller thing?
yeah, I thought the Miller situation was good. That was always brewing. I could see them looking at each other on the top table a little bit, and I could sense the energy before it kicked off. Also, I thought it was hilarious, yeah, and I might even put a clip on the channel. I might put a shot on the channel, yeah. I thought AJ's body language towards Dev Sani and him telling Eddie to interview him and stuff like that, and just the way he was.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I thought that was good. I thought that was good. It shows a riled up AJ and stuff. I think it's like the world's against me. F everybody. Like,
yeah.
F everyone right now. I don't care. Do you know what I mean? You're either with me
Do you
or
think
you're
he done
against
that
me.
because Dev's part of Queensbury, or do you think he was just pissed whoever would have been there?
I just think Joshua's got to the point where he's like, and we have to. One thing that, and this is just my opinion, I can't say that everybody's got to do this, but I think we've got to, in my opinion, we've got to give Anthony Joshua respect for carrying the sport of boxing and really elevating it. And obviously, he's had so much pressure and criticism and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I don't know how many people in his situation would be able to handle that pressure. The way he's elevated, the way he's branded himself, the way he's, do you know what I'm saying? So when people turn around and go, oh, he's shit, he's lost to Usyk. Well, styles make fights, and that might be his kryptonite. That's just the way it goes in boxing sometimes. Like, you're going to find a style that isn't good for you. Do you know what I mean? That's it. Do you know what I mean? Some guys are quicker than you. Some guys have got better boxing fundamentals. Some guys have got better footwork. It is what it is. That's the game. That's the game. Do you know what I mean? So you could have the fight 10 times and you might win one of them. It's just the game. It's the way it goes. And I think he put his all into it. I think he obviously thought he was going to be the winner. And I think it hit him. And guess what? When you're a winner and you're a competitor and you want to do great things, what are you supposed to do? Finish the fight and just be like, oh, well, next one. Do you know what I mean? So I think
it bettered AJ the way the fight was going, because being in there, people were booing, people were annoyed, and the fact he knocked out Helenius, again, there's two ways you see it, right? It would be like, oh, you're supposed to knock him out, but then there's the other side that when you see it on our sense, you're tactically breaking him down. Like you said, it's impossible, not impossible, but it puts so much more pressure when Deontay's on it in 2 minutes 57 seconds.
Andrew, just say that again.
Do it better than
you froze in it. Say that again. Say that again because you froze.
Oh, so essentially, what I was saying is there's two boxing perspectives. Being in the arena live, I heard people saying, chanting that, you've got to knock him out, you've got to knock him out. And then you look at our perspective, where you've got to tactically break him down. As you're saying, putting that pressure on to knock someone out puts relentless amount of pressure, especially when Deontay Wilder's done it within 2 minutes 57 seconds. It bettered AJ because he broke him down and he proved it to the fans. Like, again, the fans are there to support him. Whether the famous quote goes, whether you love me, whether you hate me, you're still going to watch me. Chris Eubank lives off of that. Again, sorry, because I've digressed a little bit. What's your question before?
No, you're right there. You're right, because it's like AJ's got that mindset right now where he's sort of like, F everyone, I'm just going to do my thing. And I don't blame him, because if the guy, goes to the toilet, he's going to get criticized. If the guy eats chicken with a certain seasoning on, he's going to get criticized. If the guy wears a cap or a woolly hat, he's going to get criticized. If the guy smiles at the wrong time, says anything, he's going to get criticized. He can't win in any situation. So I feel like he's got that thing. And going into the fight and that, I think that Otto Wallin's tricky, but I think that AJ's kind of just got to use his size. And one of the things I'd love to see from AJ now, obviously, I don't know what Derek James has been working on with him, because I've not seen as much combination punching. I've seen a bit more like defense, straight shots. I've seen a bit more like discipline and a bit more of a stiff AJ in that aspect. I say stiff, but like a bit more of like a tighter AJ. Yeah, I think for me, southpaws are tricky. I think you got to try and establish your jab over his. And I think when you get a chance and you sting him a little bit, I think your combinations on Wallin. Do you know what I mean? And then I think that I'm not necessarily saying if we watch this card and Wilder completely poleaxes, I think you frozen again. No, you froze again. If we watch this card and Wilder completely poleaxes Parker, I'm not going to turn around in the main event and say, AJ's got to do it now. AJ's got to knock him out now because Wilder did. I'm like, just get the win, bro. keep progressing and get the win. So how do you look at it? Is it a tricky fight?
Essentially, that's why I went on to that point. Just for I break that one down. Why I was talking about the way he broke it down, because it favored AJ. The fans booing him, everyone getting on his back, giving him sick, and he knocked out like a little inappropriate movement, should I say, that he showed to the world that, yeah, listen to me now, respect me, put some respect on my name.
Your connections.
Now, going on to this fight.
Andrew, your connection keeps going in it, so just repeat that bit again.
I've turned the Wi-Fi on all my devices, but essentially, like that's what I was saying. The way he knocked Helenius out just proved to the world, like, put some respect on my name. Cool, he didn't get him out in the first round again, but he proved everyone wrong. Where board fight, knock him out. Like you said, whatever you do in this world, everyone always criticize. But he finally done it, and then the world's his, and the world's his oyster. Again, do I believe that? Otto Wallin is the perfect test for Anthony Joshua. Said if he was meant to fight someone, it is Otto Wallin. Otto Wallin, this has been brewing for years. Again, people will just look off the Tyson Fury fight. But if you look at Otto Wallin for years, he's had so many great fights. It's off the top of my head now, but I remember seeing Otto Wallin from like 2016, 2017. Otto Wallin is a beast. And what you said there, a southpaw always has the better of an orthodox on any given day. It's just because they're trickier, they're harder to beat. But this is a perfect stylistic matchup for AJ, and AJ has got to prove a point in the face. That's where you're saying, no, respect me, no, you're not even being managed right. Like, you can see AJ's back, and I'm not saying AJ's back because he's never been gone, but there's that fuel inside of him. There's that fire. How I see this going. This is probably the first one in a while.
Your connection's crazy, man.
That I see AJ going back to the Kubrat Pulev.
Yeah, your connection keeps cutting in and out. No, carry on. So let me ask you a question. Yeah, what are the keys to victory for AJ? Is it size? Is it being first in the exchanges? Like, what is it? Is it getting Otto Wallin's respect early? Like, what are the keys to victory for AJ? Did you hear that?
Still there?
Oh yeah, you're cutting. I was just saying, what do you think the keys to victory are for AJ? Is it size? What do you think?
Essentially, I don't know how tall Wallin is. I think he's a similar height. Don't do what happened to Helenius. Don't take unnecessary damage.
No,
of course,
he's much smaller.
Again,
did you not see the face-off yesterday? He's smaller. It's way smaller.
Oh, he's smaller.
Yeah, did you not see the face-off
okay,
yesterday?
no, I saw it. I thought because I'm watching from the angle where the phone's up here, and then they're recording from this angle, so it looked different. But
no, he's smaller.
Again, look, again, just don't take unnecessary damage. Take your time. Just don't be put on the back foot. Again, what Derek James is doing is technically breaking down a fighter. Like you said with the Helenius fight. Well, why did I go on it 100 times? Because everyone wanted him to knock him out, and he did, but he didn't do it in a fashion that people wanted to do. But he done it in a fashion Derek James, and he has been envisioned. So you break down Otto Wallin. You do exactly what you do in a Kubrat Pulev fight. You put the pressure on him. You don't let him have any single time, and you get him out of there within 6, 7, 8, 9 rounds.
Okay, so that's kind of how you see that one. Okay, makes sense. Do you think that AJ? Do you think Wallin's got a chance?
He's got a 30% chance, in my opinion, maybe even 40. He's a good fighter, and again, everyone's saying right now, if you're going to beat AJ, you're going to beat the broken AJ. The AJ that is not there. But I see Eddie and AJ bringing a different man out, beating Otto Wallin, and what essentially leads up to the Wilder fight. Even if it's not next, this is a comeback of old school boxing where everyone is fighting the greats. The best are fighting the best. And this is a new generation. Of course, it had to be done in Saudi. Unfortunately, not in the UK, but we know why. But again, like I said, at least Saudi are doing it, putting on these great events, putting on these great 50-50 matchups. And we see AJ put a demolition job on Otto Wallin. And then we see 1 or 2 fights before Deontay Wilder.
Okay, so you give Wallin a 30% chance. That's interesting. Because I can see the perspective of some fans that would turn around. Basically, here's the height, by the way. That's the height right there.
Oh, okay. So I'd say it's like 6'4", 6'5".
So let's just say AJ straightens his back a little bit. You're right. It's not as far off as what I thought, but they just look smaller. But frame-wise, AJ's, I think, using his mass a little bit more. I think, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to watch the Wallin-Gassiev fight. I missed that one. He beat Gassiev in Russia, which shows he's a top. easily a top 10 heavyweight with that kind of performance there. And obviously give Fury issues. He's also beat some other guys. Let's see who he's got on his record. You know what I mean? But Wallin is. Who did he beat?
So looking at it now, he beat Dominic Brazil. I remember that fight. He beat Travis Kaufman. I remember that fight as well. Adrian Granat. I can't recall which fight it was, but there was a fight.
The Gassiev and the Brazil fight. So he's a top 10. He's a top 10 heavyweight. I know he's top 5 now, but he's got a solid top 10. Will give anyone problems in that, and he's a southpaw.
There was a fight years ago I watched of him, and that's what him and my respect.
Yeah, so I think AJ.
Yeah, southpaws are tricky. They're taking over boxing right now.
I think this is an interesting point now, because what we find out now is what Derek James has been working on with AJ, because is this their third fight together? Is it a third fight?
I believe he had third. He had the Jermaine Franklin fight.
Yes, then Hellenius, and now this. Okay, so you're going to really see whether you've been with a coach for like a year. They've probably been together about a year, I think they have now. You're going to see whether what work they've been working on and what's coming off and stuff like that. And I think that he seems more comfortable with him, what he's doing. I don't see a lot of talk this time to do with like, yeah, we're practicing. I want to learn the art of boxing, because that's what he was saying before. He's like, I want to master the art of boxing. I want to get back in as a student. I think now he's going to be like, I know what Derek's teaching me. It's starting to work. Like, I'm starting to get real confidence in it now. Let me just show you what I'm like. Let's talk. Let me show you now. Because he's coming with that energy as if like it's starting to click and he's ready to show and perform. Do you know what I mean? So this is going to be really, really interesting. So yeah, I think that's the card, bro. I think that it's a good card. Dare I run through it quickly for like another 2 minutes, and let's see if we can get some predictions from Endry. Obviously, I think I know what's going to happen with the Ellis Zora man. We'll see whether you predict that one. So Junior for Frank Sanchez. I'm going Sanchez. What are you going?
Sanchez. Oh, okay. Let's do it this way: knockout or decision. Let's do it that way.
You want to knock out a decision? Okay.
Yeah.
Frank Sanchez knockout. For me.
Knockout. Sanchez knockout.
Hrgovic Damori. I'm going Hrgovic knockout early, within 6. I think that one.
Hrgovic knockout also.
Makhmudov Kabayal. I'm going Makhmudov points.
Makhmudov, I think, points also. I could see that being a knockout, but the way Makhmudov's going to probably take this fight, I can see decision.
Opetaya Zoro. I'm going Opetaya knockout.
Dare I answer Ellis Zoro knockout?
Okay. You've forgot about you guys. I get it 100%. I just think, and when I make these sort of predictions, I'm not disrespecting anybody whatsoever. It's just what I see. You can only go off the sample size that you see. Do you get where I'm coming from? If one of the guys from my gym who was like English level or whatever was going to fight a world level fighter, that's how real we keep it within our circle. We'd be like, you got to do this, this, and this. Here's your keys. But in your head, you're like, look, if you don't do this, it's not going to end good. Do you know what I mean? We're just real with it. So carry on, bro. What are you saying?
Like I said, I'll keep it real, because I know Franklin Ignatius will say you get everything real out of me because we keep it real. Honestly, it's hard when you back your boys. But again, I'm backing Ellis. This reminds me of when Yard fought Kovalev and when Yard fought Beterbiev. I was supporting Yard, but I knew that he had, I wouldn't say no chance, but it was all odds were against him, but I was still backing Anthony-Yard until I saw the finish. What do I see in this one? Be brutally honest, backing Ellis Zoro, whether it be decision, whether it be knockout. I want Ellis and bring those belts back to Lewisham, bring them back to South London where they deserve to be. But if you're going to ask me open and truly, because I said I know Franklin will say you get the truth out of me, I can see a Opetaya decision, if not finishing him, but I will be backing Ellis.
So really, you're going Opetaya the whole way through. But we got there. Right, no, I'm joking. Dubois versus Miller. I'm going for a Miller late stoppage. Now, I don't, and it's not because I don't think Daniel can do it. I just think he's going to overwhelm him. Where are you going?
Again, my heart wants Daniel Dubois. I'm always going to back the Brits, especially when it comes to world title fights at the biggest level. I see Baby Miller getting him out there if he doesn't take this the right way, but I can see Daniel Dubois decision. So I see Miller finishing him in the later rounds, but I want Dubois by decision.
We're not doing the one. We're not doing the heart. We're doing the real, man. We got to keep it real, man. We got to keep it real.
Miller 9th, 10th round. I don't see going more than 10 rounds.
Remember these guys. I like Zorro. I like Dubois. I like Lindenhoff and here on.
But you got to keep it real, yeah.
I'm just keeping it real. I'm just keeping it on based on what I can see. It's nothing personal. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bivol versus Arthur. I think Bivol's going to take him out late. If not, I think it might be points. I just think it might be a Bivol stoppage, but I don't think it'll be easy. I think it'll be later on, to maybe around 9-10.
Bivol 8th round, TKO.
Oh, 8th round. Wilder Parker. I'm going Wilder knockout. I'm not gonna lie.
Wilder 9th round, knockout, brutal.
Joshua Wallin. I'm going Joshua points. Or I'm gonna go. Has Wallin ever been knocked out? Let's have a look. Never. I'm going Wilder. I'm going Joshua points.
I'm going Joshua knockout round 10. I see it going the same as a Kubrat Pulev fight, I'll be honest with you. But Wallin has better chance than what Kubrat Pulev did. I'll be real with you.
So yeah, man. So that's it. This is the I keep forgetting the name, bro. The Day of Reckoning.
The press conference breakdown?
Yeah, it's the Day of Reckoning. Do you know what it is? I keep forgetting the name, the Day of Reckoning.
Yeah, because they keep making new ones every fight.
Yeah, the new ones. But anyway, listen, for anyone that locks in and sees this, we really appreciate it. Andre, just to end up, where can people find you? Tell them like in a short speech about your channel, what you do, what's unique about your channel.
Wow, so I'm getting the tables turned. It's usually me asking fighters. So my name's Andre. Well, Andre Deek, as you can see on there. Anything blows. You've got podcasts, you've got interviews, you've got in real life stuff, you've got day in the life stuff which are coming, interview fighters, break down behind the scenes. And yeah, if you want to tune into great content, tune into Unleash Sports Media, but also don't forget to tune in and subscribe to Anything Blows. Yeah, man. So if you go Anything Blows, guys, you can see it right there. Yeah, type that in. There's some great fighters on there. One big thing I've got to give a shout out to Andre. He's got some really good relationships with some of these fighters. So some of the interviews you're going to see on there, he's asked them questions and he's found out and built a relationship with them, things that you don't see on other channels. So it's all about quality rather than the quantity for me on the come up. So there you go. But listen, thanks for everyone locking in. And I'm probably back later at 7 o'clock for the boxing view. We're going to have a few guys on there. And if anything else breaks out in the day, I'll see if I can get on. Might just get on my phone for like 10 minutes or something. But listen, over and out. We gone.